Ladies and gentlemen, of course, welcome to Meet the Plug. This is Media Pass. I go by the name of Young Nisa. And tonight, my guest is here hanging out with me for a little bit. We're going to talk some, but she's definitely talented, very beautiful, okay? And we're going to get into like what she's got going on. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce JDesiree to the show. How are you doing this week?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
I am awesome. So just to begin, before we get started, I always like to ask, tell us what you do, give us some background, let everybody know kind of what your thing is.
Okay, I am a singer, slash songwriter slash makeup artist.
Awesome. So tell me, how long have you been, doing the music? Let's say, how long you been singing? Has it been like a lifetime thing? Like where you started?
Yeah, it has. I've sang all my life, even like elementary, high school. I did like the Rhythm Express type stuff in high school. So that was like show choir. And then after high school, I joined a cover band.
Okay.
And so we would sing, all around the city. We would sometimes travel as well. And then we sang background for big name people, just different things like that. And like I was telling you before, as of recent, I decided to start some studio stuff.
That's so dope. So tell me this, did that kind of change because I always ask about COVID, like how did COVID personally affect how you had to pivot with your, your artistry, your business and things like that? Was that something that affected it?
COVID affected me greatly. So one of the gentlemen that I had been in the band with, so I started out in a band with about 4 or 5 people. Then we kind of went our separate ways, and then I ended up alone. So I had to start doing my own stuff.
Okay.
And then as of late, in 2020, I'll say from 2018 to 2020, I had started singing with a friend of mine named Dwayne Player.
Okay.
And so it was he and I singing lead vocals, and we would perform every Sunday at a venue here in Cincinnati. And we all ended up with COVID in June of 2020. And so we lost him to COVID.
Oh my
and
goodness.
So that kind of stopped my my live run for a good minute, which is why I kind of focused solely on the studio stuff, just because, I wasn't really ready to get back out there after his passing.
Absolutely. And condolences to you and, to all his friends and family as well, because COVID definitely has hit a lot of us, and some less severely than others. I lost, I've lost important people, and so it's always, to me, I kind of take it like highly important. And I know that we had to pivot. So with you having to get into the recording studio, were you doing more so like more writing? I know you did a lot of cover band stuff, but and you are a songwriter, but were you like tapping into your writing and maybe some production more so before you got into the studio, or were you in the studio vibing? How was that?
I think I just started in the studio vibing, just trying to really like catch my niche, figure out exactly who I wanted to be. When I sing live, I'm really sultry, neo soul, and I wanted people to see a different side of me. I won't say like the real me, like the live me wasn't the real me, but you kind of have to be who the crowd wants you to be in that element, especially singing covers, and I sang a lot of like Erykah Badu and Jill Scott and stuff like that. And so I wanted to kind of get out of that bubble, and really step into my own. I love trap R&B. I love rap. I love 90s R&B. So I wanted to really step into who I knew I was.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, her name is Ariel Betts. She writes a lot for me, and her and I collab on my songs. She's really the one who helps me put the song, like make it a song. Like I'm the person that can spew out a bunch of like ideas and words, and then she's just like, okay, we need to put this here. She's like the puzzle pieces.
So
she moves the puzzle pieces for sure.
That's so awesome. So tell me this: you have mentioned when you were doing your live show, you kind of cover like Erykah Badu, Jill Scott. Who are some of the influences? Are those some of the artists that influence you, or are there other artists that really, really like made you say, hey, I want to do that?
So because my voice is I would call it heavy. I have a lower register voice. I mean, I can sing higher and softer, but when I'm really giving it my all, that's where I kind of live in regards to my voice. I first started listening to Anita Baker. My mom used to listen to her all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was a strong influence for me. Toni Braxton was a strong influence for me, just because those were the women who kind of helped me get comfortable with my voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then from there, when I kind of found Jill Scott, it was like, oh, she's perfect. This is exactly who this is me. When I heard her, I'm like, oh my God, like I could sing all her songs comfortably. And so moving from there, it was like me, starting to sing covers and stuff. And this was in the beginning. Of course, I was young. I was 18. So they were like asking me like, okay, who do you want to sing? Who do you want to sing? And, I would just keep pulling out Anita and pulling out Toni and pulling out Jill. So it just got people accustomed to that.
That's so dope.
And so I'm trying to break away a little bit.
So let me ask you this. Do you think like later on down the line, you'll get back into doing like the covers maybe, or,
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's all.
The money is there, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially, I've had the opportunity to open up for some great people. I mean, I was singing background for Christopher Williams. I was singing background I opened up for Keith Washington. We've opened up for Kiki Wyatt, Playa. Who else? It's been so really, really whoever comes to Cincinnati, honestly, we've had the opportunity to grace each stage and opening up for these people. So I've been blessed in that regard.
And I would assume for sure that you have a supportive tribe there that's like so ready to have some new music from you. You have a new single. Can you tell everybody about this new record and kind of give us an idea of what we can get from you on this record?
Yeah, so my new single is called No Clothes. It's featuring an artist here from Cincinnati named Chris Crooks. He actually lives in Vegas now, so I would say by way of Vegas. But No Clothes, I honestly, because I'm such a 90s head, I got the idea or the concept from Next Friday.
Oh, okay.
So if you remember when Craig was on the couch and he smoked, and Donna popped up on the table.
Yep.
And he was like hallucinating, kind of envisioning her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I got something.
Okay.
And
you know what?
Yeah.
Together. That's so dope. That's so dope. So do you think like when you come into the writing process, like kind of gonna go back and forth, but when you come into your writing process, is that how you create? You like think of stuff or pull things from, that's so dope.
I'm very conceptually, like I'm built off of concepts. So if I see something, if I hear something, if I watch a movie, things like that, like I'm immediately drawn to like words that I can kind of come up with that would kind of, because I want everything that I do to be relatable. And because like when I tell you like Black television in 90s is like I can do it all day.
That was a good time. That was a great time.
That was the best time.
Yes.
So coming from that and really being rooted in that, I want people to I just want to continue to create and continue to remind people of those nostalgic moments through song.
That's so fire. So for everybody's listening right now, we're going to introduce your song here shortly, but I would like for you to tell them where they could find you, where they could stream your music, all the places and all the platforms you're on.
So as far as social media goes, you can find me on Instagram at JDesiree_music. Desiree has 2 E's. And then on Facebook, it's Jasmine, JASMINE Desiree, or I'm sorry, J Desiree. So Jasmine J Desiree. As far as No Clothes, you can get that on every last streaming platform there is. It is everywhere. And if you just so happen to be somewhere in here, go ahead and click your Shazam and you can find me that way too. So
and put it in your
It's never a way you can find me. Yes.
I love it. Listen, you got to come back whenever you dropping something, man, send it to us. We're going to be adding this thing in the rotation. It's definitely giving me the vibes that you were going for that 90s. When I heard it, I was like, oh, this remind me of I could play this behind some Silk. That you get that playlist going. So yeah, you did your thing. So we're going to go ahead into the new record. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, give it up one time. J Desiree. This is No Clothes and it's Meet the Plug. We out.
type of way. Yeah, you feel some type of